Welcome back, everyone, to more Keep on the Shadowfell. This is what, episode 3? Yeah, this is episode 3. We're heading back into it. We're going to do a quick recap, and it's going to be a little bit of a shorter session tonight. One moment, my dogs need me. Give me 1 second.
This is an important thing.
It very much is. I support this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I returned. My boy dog was like, "Hey, I want a treat." And I'm like, you've been good today. You can have a treat." So he got a treat. So when we last left our heroes, they traveled to a dragon burial mound that was dug up by some strangers, and the group themselves, they were unaware of what this group was comprised of initially, but it appeared to be 2 draconic drakes and a mysterious shadowy figure, one who managed to get away through a portal in the Shadowfell. The party found the lost husband of Mrs. Stahl from Winterhaven, and they ventured forth to Winterhaven to hopefully get some answers, but not before finding a mysterious mirror within the confines of the mound itself, in a tucked away little crevice. So that's where we're going to pick up from. So our 4 heroes are among others in the tavern, in the Rafton Inn. and they're waiting to hear back from Dovin, who was to fetch the lore master in Winterhaven, or at least somebody who had a little bit more information of the area. So let me get the music on, and we can continue.
Ew.
Sorry, guys. My dogs are going nuts again. Give me one moment. I apologize. I am so sorry, everybody. Give me 1 second.
No problem. The minute I started talking, my cat, of course, came running. I had, like, just fed her in the hopes that I would, like, you know, somehow not do that. But nope, here she is.
All right, I've returned again. Yes, chat. If you've been good, you can have a treat also. Yes, absolutely. The players will get their treats in the form of XP and treasure. But yes, the Dovin has gone to fetch the local lore master in Winterhaven, Valthrun. And as you're sitting in the tavern, enjoying your food and your drink, Grizz has made sure, Shadowstripe, that you are properly fed. You're not given any milk or anything of the sort. You know, you're given your proper meal. But he returns, and the man himself is a little aged. He's a half-elven man. Kind of a stooped posture. He's got a scholar's posture. He's
I like this guy.
yeah, he's got like his shoulders are a little stooped. His hands are kind of perpetually locked in that I take books home type of stance. Like he carries like many books home with him, whether he should or not. But yeah, he accompanies Dovin, and they sit down at the table with you. And Valthorn, he adjusts the spectacles at the end of his nose and says, "Oh, Dovin has told me so much about all of you, that you saved him from demons and devils, is what he said."
That's an interpretation that one could make.
Well,
I would agree that we saved him. I would potentially not agree with, you know, the nature of the creatures we saved him from, but
Was true. Demons and devil.
oh, goodness, I was not aware that there were demons and devils out there. Just kobolds. Maybe the occasional little, the goblin folk, but not you. You seem, you're not of ill will, are you?
Faputa is good. Faputa hero.
Oh, yes,
indeed.
yes, for saving Dovin, of course, he would be a hero. Absolutely, young man. Now,
Puts his hands to his side and looks all proud as he puffs up his chest.
I bet I just imagine him standing on a stool like a proud toddler, and with his hands on his hips. But he says, "Well, any questions that you may have, he's told me you found some rare artifacts.
Oh, yes. I think he said that you would be able to look at these for us. We got some amulets.
Ooh,
I don't know who has. We got two amulets.
we also have
Mirror.
reflect. Yes.
Oh yes, it's the mirror.
Light.
And we have a small silver sword here as well.
Small silver sword. Well, my archaeology is not as sharp as what it used to be, but I can assure you that I will be able to identify these items for you post haste. Now, what? Please lay them out on the table. No, not the mirror, not the mirror. Dovin says it's a kind of tall, a standing mirror, and maybe a lady's boudoir mirror. And he looks around like side to side, like, oh, is it that kind of mirror, or is it
I
something
believe
else?
it's quite large. I'm not familiar with mirror varieties, but it's a large mirror.
Is this tall? And Faputa will reach up his hand as tall as he can. He's gonna be like on his tippy toes.
Oh goodness, that is quite big. It's very, very, very large
Yes,
compared to someone who is of your size. But that's not to say that you aren't big in other ways, my friend. Especially, and he taps his heart to be like, you have a big heart.
Faputa puffs out his chest a bit more.
It is
Faputa
definitely a
is
sizable.
Brave.
Yes, such a brave lad and such a compact package. No, so I assume that you guys lay out the amulets and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Bart will lay out the small silver short sword, and he'll start unbuckling the case that he was carrying for the.
Oh, we had the mirror like on your back.
Yeah. He carried it very carefully, okay? He carried it very, very carefully.
Covered up by my cloak.
It
It's
is
hidden.
So I'll carefully take take down the mirror, and I'll start opening up the case, and I'll gently take the mirror out and stand it up beside the case.
Okay. So
Oh, we're doing that in here. Okay.
So you take the mirror out, and you lay out the amulets and the swords. Valthrun looks them over and he's like, well, the amulets will be the easiest for me to identify first. And he holds his glasses and he slides them from like the tip of his nose closer to his eyes. And let's see, who's got some arcane talent? I believe if Faputa and
I do actually.
if Faputa and
I think I have Arcana.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, if Faputa and Maukin would like to make an Arcana check.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guidance myself. Arcana. That's not gonna help. 11.
Oh, shit.
Faputa's locked in. He understands this completely. We got a 3.
We're doing great, Faputa.
Faputa's looking very analytically at this mirror. He's like scratching his chin.
So you're both like you see him just move his glasses in a scholarly way. That's all you see, and he's like, "Oh yes, so this one," and he puts his hand on one that's got that's inlaid with like sapphires and emeralds. He says, "This one is an amulet of protection," and he slides it off to the side.
Okay,
What-
so sapphire and emerald.
Protection mean?
Oh, it means that well, I and he comes up with some assessment, some in-game words to describe that you will get a +1 to your AC. It makes you harder to hit, my boy. It makes you very sturdy.
All right,
Oh.
that seems very useful.
Faputa already hard to hit. Faputa hit hard.
Well, yes, but this would make it even more difficult for someone to hit you. You would be let's say perhaps skin as hard as dragons.
Oh.
Impressive.
Skin hard enough to bring back hands? And Faputa will raise up his shadowy hands.
No.
Tilt his head to the side.
I'm afraid it doesn't have any healing properties. It's just makes your skin tougher.
Oh.
It makes it harder for someone to hurt you.
Yes. Now this one.
Faputa understand.
There is a large green topaz with a few turquoise stones just around the top portion of it, probably shaped kind of like an arrowhead. But this one is an amulet of a poison resistance, and it does just what I said it does. It does just what I said it does.
Ooh, Septa esque partiki.
Yes, Espatiki.
Espatiki.
Espatiki, yes. And he leans over to you, Bart. He's like, what does Espatiki mean? My goblin's a little rusty.
It means big green amulet.
Big green amulet. It is indeed a big green amulet.
Faputa light up. I was actually pretty close.
is Bart like inadvertently picking up goblin? It's exposure. It's cultural exposure. You know, eventually you learn the language. You know, the cognates and everything like that. So,
Bart was simply going off of instinct and his excitement over the amulet.
Faputa will clap his hands together. He'll look at you. Oh, call understand say?
Just a little bit. And totally lie.
Big teethy smile stretches across Faputa's face. He looks at you.
I would love to learn Goblin.
I mean, it couldn't hurt to learn at least a few, like, basic phrases.
Ooh, Faputa, very intelligent. Me teach?
I would like that.
Yay!
And this short sword, and then he adjusts his glasses one more time. He it seems like he slides them back down his nose, and then he takes them back up towards his eyes again. And he waves his hand over the blade of the sword. And in doing so, he's like, "Oh goodness, yes. So this is a minor flame brand. It's a flaming short sword.
What does that do? Besides, I assume catch on fire.
It deals an extra D6 fire damage, and on a critical hit, it deals a D10. It deals an extra D10 fire damage on a critical hit.
Cool.
Very cool.
And then there's this mirror.
Yes. This is the artifact in which I myself am quite interested in. So you see, and he takes his time with this one. Like, it didn't seem like he rushed the identification of the amulets or the sword, but he wanted to make sure that, you know, he saved the best for last. And he's entirely invested in this one. He stands up, and it seems like his scholar's posture kind of straightens, as if he's meeting a noble person, a person of nobility, and his hand hovers just slightly over the surface of the mirror and the frame of it all. And as he inspects it, you hear him just kind of like, he's like, oh, goodness! The antiquity, the shape, the everything, and he delves into it, and he starts mumbling to himself, almost like you have found his fixation, and you are fully leading into his fixation. So once he looks it over, he says, "No, this is definitely from Nerathi Empire, but again, sadly, as Dovin has explained, it is no longer it is not linked to anything, which is unfortunate. It is unfortunate, but it is very, very valuable."
How valuable?
I mean, we're talking at least 800 at the very least. To the right collector, you could sell this for upwards of 1,200 gold. Had I that money on me, I'd take it off of your hands immediately.
No want to sell.
That seems. I think that's a later discussion. Yes, but thank you for
Good
identifying these.
to know.
Okay, but maybe a discussion for later.
Yes. Discussion for later. Fopta's nodding his head up and down.
Is there anything else you can tell us about the Nerathi Empire?
Oh, absolutely. What would you like to know? Better yet, do you have time, and where would you like me to start? And again, you found his fixation. This is what he does. He loves this stuff.
So,
this is his.
Dovin gave us a brief sort of explanation of the Nerathi Empire when we saw him. He explained, my understanding is that it was an empire that bordered the Shadowfell?
Yes, indeed. So, the empire of Nerath is split into in many geographical states, but most notably, it does border the Shadowfell. It's most notable, and he delves a little bit more into it. In an age before our recorded history, the Vale, the Nentir Vale, has a huge forest known as the Nentir Forest, and it was home to communes of treants that would use magic to protect their homes from dragon overlords of the Elder World. And in this forest, there were many gateways to various areas that were counterluminous to our own plane, like the Feywild and the Shadowfell. And eventually, the forest was destroyed when Malarinth the Eternal Ash died, and scores of dragons invaded, causing the War of Endless Branches that almost destroyed the forest entirely. But there's many speculations of what happened during these times, but up until about 4 centuries ago, the Vale was very thinly populated. Human clans lived in the areas with remote domains of dwarves and elves, and there are various other areas that were of interest of the Empire. But when the Nerathi Empire was at its height, settlers began to travel north to the continent in order to expand the borders of the nation. And more notably, there were soldiers and paladins of Bahamut who came from the south, and they founded Godmore Abbey as a key fortress and launched a crusade of conquest to defeat monstrous humanoids such as giants and trolls, ogres, orcs, and he pauses for a second, and he looks over to Fopta, And he says, even vile, evil goblins.
Faputa scowls a little bit at that.
But
We good goblins. Me village, nice. We take in stranger. Stranger, not like us.
I understand, my boy, but what I mean is these were goblins of a different age, more savage, more primitive, not ones who speak as well as you, Faputa.
Me speak good.
You speak well.
Well, water.
Yes, you
Same
can.
word, different meaning.
So, along with Godmore Abbey, there was a village known as Fastermel, who they defined the northern frontier of Nerath, until this village of Winterhaven and the barony of Harkenwold was made decades later. And many heirs of Nerathi noble families began to move to the region and claim certain lands as their own. They established manors and settlements and even monasteries. That's about 310 years ago. A Nerathan hero named Aranda Marklehay built a tower near Nentir Falls. And around this tower, the Moonstone Keep was built later, and the city of Fallcrest began to grow. But we're curious about the Shadowfell and that borders it. So, even without the Empire, the people prospered. About 90 years ago, chaos and ruin came to the Vale when orc hordes, Clan Bloodspear. Are any of you familiar with Clan Bloodspear?
Have I heard of this clan?
You can make a history check.
I would like to think I might know.
Faputa might.
9. I'm rolling only 6s. That's the only number allowed to roll.
This is why you have the lore master. Is he is giving you the history lesson. You don't know this.
I'm writing it down,
You're
don't
attending
you
class. Yeah, you're attending class.
Could I see if I know about it?
Yeah,
I feel
go
like
ahead.
I might have like a
Good.
maybe an advantage in this. I don't know. I mean, it's goblin history. You'll see.
I want to be clear that none of these words are spelled correctly.
That's awesome. We scored the exact same.
We're doing great, Papa. We're doing great.
It all sounds really cool, and like a very thick, like Ken Burns style history is probably out there somewhere, but not this.
Probably just not familiar with the word blood spear.
Yeah.
No idea.
So, the clan swarmed down from the mountains to the northwest, and there were Imperial knights that were unable to aid Fallcrest's army, and they were defeated in a rash attempt to halt the Bloodspears. And the orcs pillaged and burned Fallcrest and went on to wreak havoc all across the Vale, destroying all in their path, until they found their match in Hammerfast. Those orcs suffered great losses and were forced to withdraw.
Well, they reached their match where? Sorry.
But it is said that if you venture towards this keep, and he pulls out a map that's kind of similar to what you guys have, and it makes you wonder. It's like, does he always carry this map on him, or was he just ready for this presentation? He goes forth and lays out the map, and he pinpoints where this keep is.
Which keep is this? Moonstone?
This keep itself is the yes, this is the Moonstone Keep. Yes.
Faputa's nodding along.
Maukin is scribbling down notes.
Faputa's gonna real quick reach to his back. He's gonna see if his patron's really following along with this, or if his patron's present at the moment.
You hear It sounds like scribbling. It sounds like someone is scribbling on paper when you try to commune with your patron. So it seems like they're taking notes too.
Fair enough. Taking the notes that Faputa can't.
Bart isn't really interested in any of this, and he's gonna just like sit there and look at the amulets and stuff like that, and just look them over and kind of absently pay attention, but he's not really interested in the planning phase.
Do I notice Bart not paying attention?
I mean, with your passive perception, you probably notice that Bart's kind of tuned out. He's kind of tuned out on the history lesson.
Bart must pay attention. Important.
Oh,
Faputa understand.
okay.
Good. We learn together.
So, Mr. Belflun, you said that it's as if you ventured towards the keep something, and then we all got distracted by the map, I think.
Oh, forgive me. Sometimes, this was my scholar's map. Forgive me. Let me get you my lore master's map. And he reaches into a pouch, and you see like there's like stardust and magical residue that just kind of like falls out of this pouch as he pulls out a much larger scroll. And
This guy's awesome.
Yeah, it's got like little caps on the end of it, and then he unrolls it, and this one is fully detailed and fully colored. My books and scrolls tell me that the keep itself, built by the Nerathi Empire, not to watch for marauders though. It was built over the site on a rift to the Shadowfell. But not all of the Shadowfell is evil. No. This rift, a big crack, a hole.
Oh, doorway.
A doorway.
It's a big, dark, scary hole that you do not wish to fall into.
Faputa strong. He fight doorway.
You're going to fight the darkness.
Faputa will be hero if do.
He's probably the hero already, I would argue. So,
I've seen many a drunkard take a stick and wag it about in the darkness of night after a long night of drinking, and I don't think it calls him a hero. But you've done an amazing thing by saving one of our own and taking out some kobolds and discovering some unique antiquities and treasures. But as I was saying, where was I? Young.
You just said that not all the Shadowfell is evil.
Oh, yes. Thank you. And he gives you a little pat on the shoulder, and all of a sudden he resumes the scholar posture, and his shoulders are slumped again, and he goes into full explanation mode. But this rift itself connects to an unholy sanctuary of Orcus, and a demon lord of the undead, for those of you who don't know. Skeletons, ghouls, and stranger, fouler creatures have crawled through the opening into the light of day. The Empire destroyed the undead and sealed the rift, and built a keep over it, like a cork in a bottle of wine. But I thought that was the end of the story, but now I'm not so sure. You said that you saw this figure. Did you catch a name?
Good question. Do we have a name?
You guys do. It's a name that
Calarel?
Caravel or something.
Calarel.
Yeah, Lord Calarel?
It was Lord Calral.
Colorall. Coveralls.
Lord Coveralls, yeah. Listen. When I give you guys a name, if you want to write it phonetically how you hear it to help you remember it, that is going to be the best way for it. Because if I spell it out for you and you pronounce it differently, then you might be speaking of two different people at that point. So I always encourage you guys to write these things phonetically. But I need all of you to make an insight check really quick. Those of you who are paying attention, Bart, you're really not paying attention to the history lesson, so you get to make that one at disadvantage, I think.
We've improved. I rolled a 7 this time. We're moving up in the world.
Woo, we rolled a 4.
I have a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Okay.
These dice are hot tonight.
Faputa, we're doing great. Doing great, buddy.
Holy shit.
I don't know why it. Anyways,
19,
well,
19, 12.
Today.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
I'll take the. You rolled
I'll
two
take the
19s
lowest
before the 12, so Bart, you're pretty good at reading people. You read their movements and things like that, and the same with Shadowstripe. Like you're used to preying on people when it comes to them letting their guard down, and both of you know in two different types of instances when someone is putting their guard up, and when the mention of Calrel is made, Valthrin, he's like, I don't know that name, and you could tell that he's not being very forthcoming.
Oh, come on, Mr. Throne. You know better than that. I'm pretty good at reading people, and you're not telling us the whole truth. You could be honest, okay?
Yeah, and he looks around and he starts to he offers to bring you guys a little closer in so he can explain this. That is not a name that is spoken very commonly around here, and in fact it does not bode well. If the servants of Orcus, especially Calrel, are active in the area, they're probably interested in nothing less than opening up the rift again. This is terrible. If death cultists unseal the rift, a tide of undead could descend upon Winterhaven. And today we don't have any empire to call on for aid. They would overwhelm us and establish a kingdom of death in this world.
We stop them.
Indeed. I believe
I think
I believe our understanding was that, where is this? We were told that there was an abandoned keep, which I'm assuming with this new information would be Moonstone, and that inside it there was a stone that could harness the power of the Fat Shadowfell and open the portal to the abyss.
Yes, indeed.
We be careful of old ruins. Faputa have bad memory with them.
Shadowstripe, I need you to make a perception check for me, please.
Okay. Perception check.
How far are we
That is a
here
19.
Sorry.
I'll get to you in just a second there, Maukin.
No problem.
Shadowstripe, you noticed that that an elven woman who'd been in the tavern several times, especially during the first fight night and everything, that Bart was a part of. You notice that as you're all talking, at the mention of the name Calrel, she gets up and she leaves. She leaves very quickly.
I follow.
I would follow Shadowstripe unless Shadowstripe is trying to be like sneaky. Bart
Yeah.
would.
I would have been on your lap, so I pat your thigh a couple times in a signal that I'll be right back.
Okay, if you're gonna, yeah, I'll just keep an eye on Shadowstripe as she leaves, or she just like not blatantly watching her, but keeping an eye on her.
Okay. Okay. You watch as Shadowstripe ducks out the door. Shadowstripe, I need you to give me one more perception check, but this time at disadvantage.
That is a 10.
A 10. You look around and go ahead.
My passive is 12. I don't know if
Okay.
that matters.
Well, you know, even with a 12, you don't notice you don't notice any signs of like footprints or anything like that. You saw the elf woman leave, but you didn't see the direction in which she went. Like as soon as she was out the door, you went to go follow, and you go outside and there's nothing. You don't like, and it's a pretty open town. You should be able to see if someone is ducked down a street or down an alleyway. And one of your first instincts is to like look up. It's like, well, if I don't see anything here, maybe they're on top of the building. But you look up and you don't see any trace of this woman.
My first instinct would be to get to high ground. To see.
Okay. I'm not gonna have you roll to jump on boxes or crates or anything to get higher, but how high are you looking at? You just looking to get on top of the inn, or
Probably. I don't want to go too far.
Okay. You get on top of the inn and you take a good look out. It is nighttime by the time you guys had returned back and Dovin had fetched Valthrun and everything. So it's not very easy to see. But you also you can make one more perception check for me, not at disadvantage. But it will be a very high check to see if you notice anything.
That's a 7.
You're trying to pinpoint, and there are still a few people moving about. And you remember when the woman was leaving, she kind of like put a cloak up over her head. And you see a few people, maybe stable hands or things like that. They put cloaks up over their heads as well. So it's almost as if they might have known, or they might have attempted to blend in. But you don't see any trace of this woman.
Okay. I'll head back inside.
Okay. Maukin, you were going to ask a question when
Oh yes, I was wondering how far we are from Moonstone Keep.
Yeah, let's see. It's probably only about a couple of days travel. I'd say like 1 or 2 days.
Oh, that's quite close.
And he
Why do I get the impression we'll be heading there?
Say one more time. You kind of cut out on me. I apologize.
Oh, I said, why do I get the impression we may be heading there somewhat soon?
It sounds like next step.
It does indeed.
I think we need to have a talk about. I don't know if I'm a hero. I just like to fight things.
That sounds like we can talk, although I'm not sure what. That sounds like a thing you have to figure out for yourself. I'm not sure how much.
We talk later.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we should talk later.
Well, if you're going to you're going to be traveling, you know, it's 1 or 2 days by horse. Do you have mounts or
No. No, we don't. We would
Then-
have to see if it would be easier to procure them or to walk, as Fapta
Well, if you have to walk, it might take a little bit longer. But either way, you with the kobold attacks, you seem capable. You seem like you're able to handle yourselves. So maybe give me just a moment. I need to speak to Lord Padraig. See if he's got anything that could assist in your ability to see this deed through. Lord Padraig, he's the one who runs the Winterhaven here. He's like the mayor or the local nobility.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, that sounds great.
What?
Lord Vathram.
Oh no! I'm no lord. I'm just a law master. I'm a simple scholar. You see.
What noble mean?
Noble.
Ray?
Say again, my lad, please.
Ray? Ray is big man. King?
Yes, the king is a kind of noble. They're the people who are in charge.
Oh.
He's like a I didn't want to say he's a lesser king, but he doesn't have a line of nobility that he follows. Not a bloodline monarchy, but he's earned his title through great deeds. He himself is a former warrior himself.
Village elder, then.
Don't let him hear you say that. He's an elder, and he kind of chuckles. He's like, no, but yes, I suppose a village elder. For your kind, the chieftain. He's a chieftain.
Fapta will light up. Oh, important.
Yes, very, very.
Fapta be on best behavior.
Well, you haven't broken any laws yet. I mean, have you broken any laws? He kind of looks around and he's like, don't worry, old Valtron's not a snitch. And he kind of taps the side of his nose. He's like, I'm not a snitch, but, you know, if you do anything nefarious, keep it on the down low, as the youngsters like to say.
Yes. Fapta stay low to ground.
Yes, but not too low. Sometimes, if you're too low, you find yourself on the wrong end of a cow pie. Just do remember that. That's what old Mama Volthrin used to tell me all the time. Like, don't put your nose in anything other than a book. And I was like, yes, Mommy, and I did what she said.
Cow pie is ka.
Yes, caca.
Kaka?
Yes. It's bad enough to say it twice. But he says that he'll return. He'll leave you guys to your meals, and he goes to gather up all of his papers, and he puts them back into his little mystical magical bag, and says, well, if you have any other questions for me, now would be the time, because it's way past this old man's bedtime.
I only have one question. Who is Lord Calral, anyways? Is he dead?
There are many stories that circulate around Calrel. And he sits back down because this is a story that he has to tell. there are many stories and rumors that circulate around Calrel, but rumor has it he wishes to become a lich. He'd studied it for a long, long time, and he had originally been a staunch cleric of oh goodness, I can't even remember. Probably Arathis, perhaps, but somewhere along the line he grew corrupted by the lure of power and magic, and he delved deep into the secrets, and he devoted himself deep to his scholarly studies, and found himself in the dark, bony embrace of Orcus. And whether he's still a man or if he's a shadow of his former self, pardon the pun, he was a man once, and he was supposedly a good man once. I wouldn't know that particular portion, because most of the people who knew Calrel personally are no longer with us. That being said, I would venture a very scholarly guess, my own hypothesis, that if Calrel is indeed involved with what's going on in the Shadowfell, or to reopen this rift, we are probably not very long on time to rectify whatever damage he's hoping to enact.
He was Spectici.
Spectici, a specter, an apparition.
Yes.
Maybe Ketchkin? Undead.
Again, if Calrel has found it amongst himself to become a lich, that would make him a very powerful foe indeed. But if he were to have done that, then yes, he would be a creature of undeath, which would not be far from the embrace of Orcus.
I feel like if he were a lich, we'd all be dead.
He was weak. Faputa hit him.
I believe I did as well, and I'm not, intimately familiar with liches, but I feel like we'd all be dead.
But in that same vein, my lads, would you say that he was did he bleed when you hit him?
No.
He was like a shadow, so I don't think so.
I fear that he may have been an after image.
Can you? I don't know. What is that?
He an after image, a projection, what would be a more layman term? A spectiki. He was probably projecting a form of himself or an aspect of himself from wherever he was. But it's hard, it's hard to say.
A visage, an avatar.
Yes.
Okay.
This is not good.
This is definitely not good.
We stop him. Faputa stop him.
We stop him.
We stop.
But for sure. On that note, where'd the cat go?
By this time, when you're like, where'd the cat go? Then Shadowstripe has returned to I would assume that as Shadowstripe is being very meticulous and trying to pinpoint like where this elven person has gone, that all of this has happened simultaneously. So at this point, Shadowstripe returns.
Yeah, I just crawl back up into Bart's lap and like curl up on one leg.
Good timing.
Shadowstripe. We well, they want to go after the guy, the ghost. They want to go to the shadow, whatever that place is. That's really far from here.
Moonstone Keep. It's like 2 days away.
But I only punch things.
We talk later.
Okay.
I
Okay.
just start making biscuits.
I suspect. I mean, I imagine there will be many cultists for you to punch.
Talk later. Fapta have question for man.
Yes,
Oh,
lad. You've
Dorma.
got a very keen mind. You've got a very keen mind. What would you like?
We go quiet place. Fapta nervous of show.
Oh, yes. I mean, of course. I mean, is it frightfully urgent? Is it?
Fapta would like know about it. Hurt him sometime.
I see.
Are we quiet place? No stranger eyes?
No stranger than those who are around you, my lad. Would you prefer just to speak to me, or are you comfortable doing this amongst your friends? To be completely honest, I don't know what we're talking about.
It's okay, Fapta. You can show him.
I don't think I know what we're talking about.
Okay.
I will guard you. And I'll just turn my back to him and I'll just put my shell so that it blocks anybody's view from Fapta so that he feels more comfortable.
Okay.
Fapta will then kind of like outstretch his arms to his sides, like almost doing like a T pose kind of deal.
Okay.
And in front of him will appear this greatsword that he's been wielding. And it hovers in front of him. He brings his hands back and he holds it. And he very carefully sets it down onto the ground. Be Kaphis is dangerous. Want to know its origin. It speak to Fapta.
Oh.
So I'm going to roll a percentile here, Fapta. We're gonna see if Valthrin is of the one inclination or the other inclination in regards to this, regarding your background. High or low, Fapta?
We're a high roller, big baller.
Okay, with a 93. With a 93, Valthrin, he watches as you manifest this great sword, and at first it looks like he doesn't recognize any of it until he gets to the hilt of the sword. His eyes go wide and his glasses fall off of his nose, but thankfully there's a little chain that catches them. So they just kind of like dangle there, and he goes, Where did you find this? This was not in the burial site of the dragon, was it?
No. Fapta found this a long time ago. It
How?
changed him, made him look like he is now.
So
I scared.
so it's resurfaced. I see.
It tell me it okay. I and he's gonna make his sword disappear. He's gonna slink back a little bit.
That's cool.
Never mind. Faputa sleepy. Dorma. Good night. And he's going to grab his cloak from the bar stool there and throw it on real quick, and he's gonna very fast slink away upstairs.
Okay. Oh, well, that was the second most interesting thing I've got to see today.
Was the mirror the first?
Yes, oh, absolutely. It was it's Nerathi craftsmanship. It's fantastic.
Do you know the name of his sword?
Say again.
Do you know the name of his sword?
I don't know if the sword itself has a name, but I know that long ago there was a. Remember when I said that some of the gods were destroyed long before the Nerathi Empire was even founded?
No. I don't remember that part.
He babbled in. You guys were more interested in the Shadowfell stuff, so he kind of glossed over it. He kind of glossed over it. But long ago, there was a war amongst the gods known as the Dawn War, and the god.
Sorry, he's just hidden among the stairs. He's eavesdropping.
Okay. Make me a stealth check, Faputa. I want to see how well you're hiding.
Probably the best he's ever hidden, actually.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Bada boom. That is with a +3, so.
I see you at the very least.
8. So 8, yeah.
So Fapta's not hiding very well. He's kind of like I hate to keep equating Faputa to a child, because to me goblins are child-sized, so everything they do, like most of their mannerisms, like hiding and standing on things, like it's very kid-like to me. So like, you know, the kid that's like trying to catch Santa Claus, he's like peeking around like the balusters of the stairway, and he's just peeking down and trying to get information. But as Valthrun starts speaking on, he says, during the Dawn War there were gods of good and gods of evil, and there were great conflicts which caused some of these gods to no longer exist. Some of them were slain by Bane and the demon lord Yinogu and other such things. Like even Nero, the god of death, he was killed by the Raven Queen, who took his position. But this other deity, it's different somehow. I wanted to say that it was Taern, god of war and fire, but I don't think that's what this is anymore. It looks more shadowy, more altered, as if it's found a rebirth of some sort. But I can't tell, because I did not get to examine the item for long enough. But I fear that if this is something connected to a god, that even though our little friend is big of heart and very courageous and brave, I don't know what long-term effects this weapon might have on his little body.
Faputa's strong. He's
But
smart.
is he strong enough to fight the will of a god? Even a former god?
He is Faputa. So I believe that Faputa is strong enough. I
And I
don't know. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Were we going to say their Shadowstripe?
Can I say that I've been keeping an eye on anybody else in the tavern to see if anyone's paying extra attention to us?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't notice anyone who's been paying close attention. Most of them are the local farmers, and they're just enjoying a drink or two. The only suspicious one that you saw that night was the elven woman who got up at the mention of Cowrell.
Okay.
Everything else is they're simple villagers. They don't want to impose on anyone's on any travelers' lives, because that just might bring trouble for them.
Okay.
So, do you guys have anything else that you need to ask Valthram, or that you want to ask Valthram? He is a wealth of knowledge. He's a very knowledgeable person.
So the mirror. Do you recognize the symbol on the back? I recognize it as being from a wizard, but I couldn't figure out who it was. The Ouroboros of snakes with the like rods in the cardinal directions.
Oh yeah, yes. It is simply it is a rune in which to link it to whatever it is to be mated with, to be partnered with. But again, that magic was not completed, it looks like.
Is there any risk of someone completing it on the other side, for lack of a better?
Oh, you have no fear. You should have no fear of that. Like, they would need both items in order to link them, and then they could take them wherever they wanted. But should they be linked, if an item were to be linked with this in terms of travel or modes of transportation, you could take this all the way across the world and use it to go from one place to another.
Terrifying.
Extremely.
I guess my only other question would be like, where should we contact you in the future if we have any questions or whatnot?
I mean, you're always welcome back here. My academium is here in Winterhaven. So you're always welcome to come back here, and I can provide you with any information that you might need if you uncover something new. And please do, if you come up with any new artifacts or anything like that, or anything else that is from the Nerathi Empire, I would greatly adore to see it. Again, if I had the coinage on me, I'd take this mirror off your hands right away.
All right, well, perhaps in the future.
Bart starts to pack up the mirror, and once it's all packed up, he puts it on his shoulder and starts walking up the stairs towards the room.
Thank you very much for speaking with us, sir.
Thank you for indulging me. And he bows his head, and he gathers up his things, and he starts to walk off.
I'm gonna go upstairs, and I'm gonna check in on Faputa.
So I'm assuming at this point, even though Faputa was like kind of like eavesdropping from the stairs, probably when you saw everybody like get up and start heading your way, Fopta, you probably like scurried back up to the room, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I just wanted to. I didn't want to make the assumption and take away your agency in that moment, but I'm kind of figuring that that's what he would have done.
It is in fact.
Okay, so you're already in the room, and at this point, Bart makes his way up to the room. Shadowstripe's probably not that far behind, probably resting on Bart's shoulders or on his shell. Maukin, I assume
Come along.
that you're following everybody as well.
So, as I go into the room, whereabouts would Fopta be?
Fopta is on his bed? Question mark. I think we have beds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was established that you guys had beds, but Bart kind of sleeps on the floor, because the way his shell is, and it's probably more comfortable for him to sleep on the floor anyway.
100%. Okay, so
Fopta is on his bed. You see, he's like obviously underneath the blankets. He's underneath the blankets, like in a ball.
I'm gonna go and kind of sit down and bring up my big turtle legs and bend them up and wrap my arms around them and sit down beside the bed beside where Fopta is, and I'm hey
He's gonna try and slink away out of your arms.
I'm not in your arms. I'm just like beside the bed.
Oh.
Beside the bed. I'm not not touching
Like
you.
dad sitting on the edge of bed kind of deal. No, I get you.
Kind of, but I'm sitting beside the bed because I'm so big I would probably break the bed.
Yeah, you probably would like break something.
So, it's gonna be all right, Fopta. You have me, you have Shadowstripe, and now you have Maukin. We got you. You can handle anything. I know you can.
You see like the shadows pouring out from underneath the blankets. It's like almost liquidy. And you hear a very quiet Fopta respond in almost like an echoey kind of distant voice.
Leave alone. Fopta no want to talk now.
All right, little buddy. But when you're ready to talk, we're here. We'll always be here. And I'll
You'll
walk
see
away. Or I'll get
Fopta
up.
shudder underneath his blankets.
And I'll get up and I'll give him his space. I just wanted to make sure that he was going to be okay, and he knows that people are here when he's ready.
So, do we want to talk about the situation? It seems like we should probably go help with.
This just seems really big to me. I don't know if we can handle this.
I think we have to try. We're not going to be able to handle an army of undead being run by Orcus if, we don't help here.
But why us? Why can't the Lord send word to get help?
Well, it seems to me that things are progressing much faster than anyone would have thought. And I
Getting
don't
help
know
would
if
take
there's
too long.
time for the Lord to send for help, and I don't think he would be taken seriously. At the very least, I think we should check it out. I mean, we don't have to do anything once we get there, but
Bart
Yeah,
goes
even
Bart goes over and sits in his corner, and like he just transferred from being like an older brother sort of thing, and now he's kind of sulking in the corner,
oh,
and sitting down, and he's like, "Oh, but I'm scared. I'm I'm really really
I
scared.
know.
You don't know. You didn't almost die. You What happens if I never wake up again? Did you what
We'll wake you up. When have I ever let you down?
Bart don't like sleeping. Bart likes to make people sleep.
Well, if you
Word.
don't sleep, then you can't make people sleep.
Uh, if Shadowstripe is going, I'm gonna go. I need to look after her. Or she needs to
That's
look
fair.
after me.
We can do both.
You'll
Everyone,
hear Faputa from his corner.
Not scary. We fight.
He's
In
still hidden in his
slightly more-
blankets.
sorry. In slightly more exciting questions, we do have these magic items that people should probably decide to use.
You see
Good.
Faputa peek out of his blanket like this.
We have an amulet of protection.
I'm kind of like, I kind of perk up when you show that.
I think is the amulet of protection. That's the one that gives you 19 Constitution.
No, you're thinking of amulet of hell.
Yeah,
No,
that's a different one. The amulet of protection actually gives you a +1 to your AC.
Oh, gotcha.
If I had that, I wouldn't need this, and I pull out my shield.
I mean, wouldn't having the shield still be that would still be better, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Sorry to get your hands up.
mechanically that would put you to a 20 AC.
Oh, I know, but yeah, 100%. I understand that, but Maukin's never seen me in the ring.
That's true. Like Maukin's not seen you bust up other people the way a prize fighter should.
I mean, I've seen him fight, but yes, not
Yeah.
in the ring. Just, for our lives.
Faputa will perk up from his blanket just a little bit. You'll see his mouth.
Faputa, take scraps. Let others have first.
Well, let's see, because there's the amulet of protection, there's the fire sword, and there's the amulet of poison resistance. Who uses a sword here, I guess, is question one. I don't.
I don't
That-
know.
I think Fapta's the only one that uses a
Yeah.
sword.
Faputa,
What?
I mean, you have a sword. Can you use this? Is that I don't know how your sword works. Can you
I promise that moving forward, there will be a more adaptive campaign loot. Unfortunately, that's what was in there.
No problem.
It's all
Faputa,
good.
are you
Well,
able to use a different sword? I don't know how you.
Faputa will perk up from his little blanket fort again.
It no like when use other sword. It steal old sword power and eat it.
I don't know what that means, but that sounds like a no. You won't be using the fire sword.
No.
We can.
Okay.
I mean, we could always sell it or trade
But
it.
And for sure. It's a pretty good sword,
can
though.
a rogue not use a short sword?
The rogue's a cat.
Yeah.
The sword is
main
about as big
downside-
as the rogue.
the main downside to me being a house cat is and it's why I went the archetype that I did, is I don't carry any weaponry or armor.
Usually that'd be a perfect
maintain
rogue
the
weapon, yeah.
facade- in order to
Sweet
maintain the
rogue.
facade of being a house cat.
Yeah, usually a short sword is a great weapon for a rogue. Unfortunately, our rogue is a cat.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So it's
you- sorry.
I mean, it would be something
Unfor-
like I have a little hand crossbow or
Mm.
something like that I might use, but
We
Not a full sword.
we might be able to trade this.
Yeah, it definitely could go for selling or trading. I think Bart getting the amulet of health protection would make sense, but I think anyone getting it is reasonable. I have an 18 armor without it, and I don't really go in melee and stab people, so I think I'm okay.
I have a 17 right now. I
have
would
a
be up to
14.
18.
If you want it, that's cool, man. Like if Faputa wants it, then take it by all means.
I mean, Shadowstripe, you want it?
I mean,
only have a 14
if
at the moment.
Shadowstripe wears it, it could fashion into like a pretty cat collar if that's really what she wants.
If you 100% take it, Shadowstripe. If you've only got a 14 right now, this will bump you up to 15.
Do you have any
And you
armor
are
on,
in
like
melee
light
most of the
pattern armor or
time,
anything?
so-
Nope. Nothing. I'll
Okay.
be bumping my dex.
Oh, yeah, was your dex is already 18?
It's 16.
Oh, I thought you said your AC was 14.
It is.
Isn't... Oh, wait.
Huh? What? Are you sure you're
Is
not wearing
something-
armor of some kind?
Yeah, I'm confused by the math there, but okay.
Yep, I am sure. I didn't even grab armor when I grabbed my inventory. I literally have nothing.
Let's see. I'm trying to check our math here real quick because I think that's correct, but I'm double checking.
Oh, it would be 14 with the amulet.
No, it'll be 15.
What is your other... What's your starting magic item?
The dagger of warning.
How the hell is your AC 14, Kurt?
That's what I'm wondering.
Your AC is 14 because you do have leather armor equipped on your character sheet, Shadowstripe.
That's
Oh,
what I
that'll do it, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
That's not supposed to be there. Oops. We're getting rid of that.
Multi-class and a monk at some point.
I was like, hold on, no, I know that from looking at the sheet it was 14, but I'm
There we
like,
go.
maybe she had it equipped. So yeah, so
There we
now
go.
technically now
it's
your AC is
'cause
13.
It's not
Yeah.
supposed to be. Yeah, it's not supposed to be there.
Okay, maybe take the amulet.
Yeah.
All right, well, give it to Shadowstripe then.
I've never
The rest of
really
us all
made
have...
rogue before. It's gonna be interesting.
The rest of us
Wait,
all have
what?
much higher ACs. So.
Okay. So you pass the amulet of protection to Shadowstripe. You're probably gonna hold on to the short sword, it sounds like, and then the other amulet. Is anyone else taking the amulet of poison resistance?
That one's good for anyone, so...
I would say Maukin, unless
Okay.
you're naturally resistant to poison.
I'm not.
Then I think that you should have the amulet of poison resistance because you're a healer, and quite frankly, you're more important than everybody else. in
I
my
don't
eyes.
think that's accurate, but I will take it if no one else has an objection.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but
Well, then that's cool too. Like, I think it's up to the two of you guys.
don't you have like cure wounds or some shit, or not cure wounds, but cure like disease and poison or some shit?
I have lesser restoration, which is, I believe, cures poison. Yes,
Hmm.
lesser restoration cures poison.
Dub. Yeah, if you don't mind, then I'd like to take that amulet.
Okay.
Actually-
Although if I am dead from poison, I cannot depoison anyone.
Actually, no, you're so right. If you are dead from poison, that won't help. Yeah, take the amulet.
It's like, well, you know, if the thing we're trying to protect them from kills them, then, well, they can't do what they need to do. But that's fair.
I do not see an
wait.
amulet of protection. Is it a different name?
Let me go
I
ahead
see
and
a ring of
And
protection.
here's the thing, like, it's in the
just
inventory and it's in the
grab a
group.
ring of protection and it'll count as an amulet.
Okay.
Again, it's one of those things where it's like, this is adapted loot from the module, and I'm like, okay, hold up, I'll have to port some of this stuff in, but it's pretty standard across the board, so I'll
Can't
put
wait
those
for
in
us to
there.
be in melee, and then the next enemy hits me with a poison attack.
It's like Faputa, 89 points of poison damage.
Faputa would simply evaporate.
Anything the amulet should do if Pop took 89 points of poison damage. I think Pop will be screwed either way.
Oh, I find
The amulet of poison the actual name, or is this another
It's another item. Again, I'll port those onto your character sheets for you.
Thanks.
Fuck, 89 would definitely evaporate me. 44 would still evaporate me because it's more than half my health pool.
Okay,
You mean more than
so
double?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna strap the short sword to my side unless somebody else wants to carry it.
That's fine.
I'm okay.
Now, I have a very important. I think this is a cargo question. Are you taking the mirror with you everywhere, Bart? Because again, it is a 5-foot tall mirror.
I am not. I think I
probably
would.
shouldn't take it.
I think that maybe we should ask Dovin and Mrs. Stahl if they could hang on to it for us.
Well, there's another option. You also have Grizz. Grizz could stay behind and just monitor the mirror and everything for you guys. He won't hawk it or pawn it. So,
You know what? I trust Grizz 100%. Grizz has been like my staunchest supporter besides Shadowstripe.
but he's your promoter,
yeah.
so he kind of has to be.
Yeah, 100%. Like Grizz 100% can watch the mirror if everybody's good with that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You trust him, so I have no problem with that.
Besides, Grizz isn't really an adventurer.
He's not.
He's not used to the road. He likes to be in inns and beds and whatnot, so he'd be better off to stay here.
He likes himself a good beer and a good cigar. That's what he loves. So yeah, he can stay behind with it, and then that also gives a DM reason to not have the DM PC follow around. That just means more screen time for you, the four of you. Ha ha. Not like he did anything in the last couple fights anyway, but so that'll work. So Grizz can stay behind with the mirror. Basically all of the big loot that you guys can't like afford to cart around because you don't have a bag of holding or anything yet. You can leave it there, and he'll keep tabs on it.
Our own little
Very
dragon
kind of
board.
him.
All right, so I assume you guys nestle in for the night, or unless there's more that you need to talk about.
Nope. For
Sleep
me,
time.
Bart's been convinced that he he should go. If not for the sake of the group and the people that are in the group, then just to do something good, and he shouldn't be scared. So he's gonna suck it up and he's gonna go.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'll lay down to sleep.
Okay.
I assume I'm on the floor because I've just kind of moved myself into the
Well, okay, so the room itself has two beds. The room itself has two beds, and then Bart takes up residence on the floor. Shadowstripe tends to take up residence on Bart's shell. So like it was up to Grizz to kind of like have the other bed, but Faputa's taking up the one bed. So Grizz says, I can get myself another bed. Don't you worry about it. I'll get something across the hall. And he lets you stay in there with them, Maukin.
Oh, thank you.
Faputa curled up into his blankets. He is no longer peeking out from the covers. He is now in the covers, honk shooing.
Honk shoo, honk shoo. All right, so Faputa's asleep. Shadowstripe?
I actually might do a couple rounds around the vicinity of the inn.
Okay.
I feel like the elven lady getting up and walking away kind of raised some hackles.
Understandable. Very understandable.
Bart will be relaxing on the floor inside his shell. He'll be relaxing, but he won't fall asleep until he hears Shadowstripe come back in.
Okay, that might not be for a while, but let's go ahead and follow in on that. So Shadowstripe, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna creep about, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're looking for signs of this elven woman.
Or anyone who might be acting suspiciously.
Okay. Give me an investigation check. Okay. Let's see here.
Not super great.
It's not terrible.
Oh no.
The music just
get-
changed.
So
You get kidnapped out there.
Yeah. Shadowstripe
Catnap.
never comes back.
Catnap, I should say, I suppose.
So Shadowstripe, you lurk back out into the streets. Obviously, with it being late, nobody's milling about other than some town guard. You get the feeling that you should try to follow the most unorthodox paths through town. Something tells you to stick to the rooftops. Again, a better vantage. You can see down into the alleyways if need be. But it's not necessarily easy to jump from one roof to another. In some areas it is, but other areas you do have to kind of jump down and then climb back up. You make it to the front of the town gates. You're on top of the stables. The animals inside don't pay you any mind because to them you are also an animal. You don't pose them any threat, so why should they act up? You peer out from behind one of the broken boards that comprise the roof, and you see that there are the two guards standing there next to the lit torch sconces on the walls of the gates, and both of them are just kind of leaning to either side. But it's at that moment that you notice that they're standing very still for someone who's on guard duty. Normally people shift from like one foot to the other, or they're not soldiers, they're just town militia. So they're not like regimentally trained to stand at attention or to stand at arms for prolonged periods of time. But you notice that both of them are just kind of leaning against the walls near the gates.
I feel like I would pull a full cat maneuver and just like wander up and try to pretend to like pet myself on one of their legs to see if there is any sort of acknowledgement or if they're like just dead.
Okay. Which one there's one on the left and one on the right. Which one first?
The one on the left.
You brush up against the leg of the one on the left, and you're, again, house cat sized. You're not, human sized. You're not halfling sized. You are the size of a house cat. So it doesn't seem like it registers. You brush up against the leg. You put a little bit of weight into it, but there's no give. The torchlight does illuminate a bit of the guard's face. They have one of the typical cone-like helmets with the metal ridge that goes down across the top of the nose. And it looks like he's asleep.
He's breathing though?
It's hard to tell with the armor.
Okay.
But you can make another investigation check or a perception check if you wish.
I think we're gonna stick with the cat theme, and I will startle at something and like whip around and do a really loud meow and a hiss and see if I get any response.
You do a loud meow and a hiss, as if being startled by something. And to you, it's an act. At least it was an act.
Oh, fuck.
The one on the right, you see a hand reach for you, as if to snatch you up. And you're quick. You're nimble. You have your dagger of warning that alerts you to danger, and it does allow you to react to this. It's almost like a swift kick in the leg to notice. It just alerts you to the situation. And as you turn, you see the pale, bloodless face of the guard on the right, rather. And you see where his throat has been cut. And the blood has just kind of like seeped down into the gap where his armor is, and you notice that his tunic was brown once, and now it's stained this rich burgundy color. But the being lurches towards you with a, and it's at that point the one on the left looks down at you with cold, dead eyes. Its face also bloodless. The same thing, throat cut, blood, just kind of like almost like a painted scarf down its front. And they both kind of lurch towards you and reach for you. What do you do?
Well, fuck. I'm kind of guessing that I am not attuned to the Ring of Protection.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yep. Fuck me. I really don't want to bring these things back into town. I also do not want to leave them alive. I'm gonna go ahead and just launch myself at the one that was reaching for me.
Okay.
And go for an attack.
Okay, go for it.
Fuck. I'm using my psychic blades.
Okay.
My god, my hands are so sweaty.
You should have asked for help.
15.
15 hits. 15 hits.
Okay.
That is your target number.
And I probably don't get sneak attack.
No. You were alerted to them by your dagger, but
Yeah.
no, you don't have sneak attack on them. Not this
Oh,
time.
that's a 6 on the dice, so that's 9 points of damage.
Okay. So you dive at the one, and again, you're cat-sized. You don't have a ton of weight behind you. However, when you put your mind to it, you put some feline strength. You summon the strength of a lion or a tiger or some other large feline like a leopard, and you put some force behind that one. You collide with the chest of the one, and it staggers back, and its metal armor hits off the stone, and it slumps down, and it appears to be motionless. The other one lunges towards you. That is a 16 on the die, so I don't need to ask if that hits you.
That hits. Yeah.
But this one reaches out to try to grab at you, but when it does, its armored gauntlets are not in grabbing position. They are in like pummeling position. So you take 6 points of bludgeoning damage as it strikes you, as if trying to knock you out. So it is again your turn.
Okay. I am gonna move my out and around behind the wall.
Okay. On the
Yeah,
outside, on the outside of the wall, or on the inside?
Outside.
Okay.
And use my bonus action to hide.
Okay. There are several bushes and whatnot for you to hide in, so it wouldn't be difficult.
And then I don't know if this would work. Can I run back in and use my surprise attack?
You want to run out and hide, and then and then try to sneak attack it.
I'll hold my attack action if it follows me out.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean it's going to pursue. It goes to pursue.
Okay.
So it heads out. It gets in position, so you can go ahead and sneak attack it if you wish.
Okay. Oh fuck! That's a 3 on the dice. That's not gonna hit. Not an 8.
So you lunge out, and you try to do the same thing that you did with the other one, and you collide with it, but you collide with the metal breastplate, and it doesn't seem like any of the damage goes through, and the corpse slow turns its head down to look at you, and its jaw opens up, and you see this noxious green mist begin to form in its mouth, and it dribbles down the corners of its mouth, and it's starting to permeate in the air. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Me. 12.
Okay. You take 3 points of poison damage.
Okay.
And the creature just stands there like some kind of grotesque living fountain piece that's just spewing forth this noxious gas. And you hear the scraping of metal on stone, just as the other corpse drags itself towards the outside, its head tilting at odd angles, and its eyes lock on yours. Cal-Rel will have what he seeks.
Okay.
And it continues to crawl towards you. What do you do?
I'm just going to dodge and weave and continue to draw them farther away from the city.
Okay.
Preferably staying just outside of their range. I don't know how fast they can move.
You move significantly faster than them. They barely move at a normal pace anyway.
Okay. Yeah, once we get once they get about 100 feet away from the city, I will use my movement, my bonus action, and my feline agility
To kind of stay out of their grasp and to get back. Okay.
To get back and try to alert anyone that, if I see another guard who is alive.
Okay. You run back to the gates of Winterhaven after leaving the two corpses out in the wild, and something causes you to turn back to give that last cursory glance, how close are they? Are they coming back? Do they pose a danger? And you see that there's a shadowed figure that is now standing between the two of them. He takes his hand and raises it up as if trying to pull something up out of the ground. And you watch as the spirits that inhabited these two bodies ascend into the air, swirl into an orb of sorts, and then rest in the palm of the shadowy figure. Its head turns towards you, Shadowstripe. Faint pinpricks of red, hellish light gleaming in sockets where eyes would be. And you can tell that you've been noticed. But then the figure disappears. And you run back to the safety of Winter Haven.
Okay.
And you said you're looking for other guards?
Yeah.
Winter Haven is a small town.
Yeah.
They normally only have about 2 guards at the gate.
Is there a guard house?
Yeah. You can go to the barracks. You can go to the guard house and see if someone's there.
Yeah.
Okay. You go to the guardhouse. Door's obviously closed. It's not locked. So what do you do?
I think by the time I get there, it clicks that I've been pretending to be a cat this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody really knows that I'm not a cat.
This is also true.
So I will head back to the inn and tell Bart what happened and let him know that we need to alert the guards.
Okay.
So Bart gets up after she comes in, and he goes with her to alert the guards. Tell them exactly what happened.
So
I'm trancing, not asleep. Do I know any of this is happening? I'm an elf.
Well, yeah, you're in a trance. So yeah, you notice when this happens. Like Shadowstripe, pretty much probably comes back through the window, because I doubt she went through the door and then went outside and then used the tavern or the inn door. She probably scrambled down from the window from the outside. Cat things. So she's gone out that way and returned that way and has informed Bart that what do you say exactly? What do you say exactly?
I mean, I'm pretty fucking bloody right now because we did not heal after our last fight.
I offered.
No, you did, and I was at a decent number of hit points, and then I took.
And then she got hit by a zombie.
Twice.
Okay.
I'm back down.
I'm gonna get up and heal her first off, then.
Okay.
You can have 11 points of healing.
I appreciate that.
So Maukin, you go to attempt some healing on Shadowstripe, and when you do, you notice that there is it's almost like a black shadow over one of her wounds, and the shadow itself appears to be in the shape of a skull.
What did you do?
But as you heal, you notice that it pulses for a second, and your healing magic is stymied for just a moment. But then it fully goes through to heal Shadowstripe. But then the skull just disappears. It dust.
Great. What did you do? Why do you have skulls hanging over open wounds? That's not healthy.
Well, there was a shadowy figure that pulled some soul of something out of the ground and locked eyes with me before he disappeared.
Go back
I
a
didn't
second.
think I was gonna get in a fight. I was just looking for an elf, and then I
What else?
found the one that left the inn back when when you guys were talking to Valthrin.
I don't think did Shadowstripe relay that she was.
No, no, she
No, I
didn't.
didn't. I didn't. I totally forgot.
So now it's like I was looking for an elf. What elf?
What?
There was, when you guys brought up Colorel, there was a
Yeah.
female elf that stood up and left the inn really quick. That's when I hopped off
Okay.
of Bart's shoulder and I walked out. And when I got to the door, there was no trace of her.
Okay, so you went out to see if you could find her alone?
Well, I mean, I went out to make sure that she wasn't around, and then I found two guards whose throats had been slit, but they were animated. And one of them punched me, and the other one breathed some sort of weird green gas on me. And then I led them away from town, and I made it back into town because they were super slow. I was going to get more guards, and that was when the shadowy figure appeared and did that weird heebie-jeebie shit that magicians do, and pulled something out of the ground. Like, I didn't know there was something on me, and then I went to alert the guards, and I realized this whole town thinks I'm a cat so that I can steal from them. So I came back here so that somebody else can tell them, so that I don't get busted for stealing from the citizens of this town.
Okay, going back several seconds, maybe let's not steal from the citizens of this town, but also...
Well, I didn't know they needed help.
Also, maybe next time ask us to come... I can turn into a cat if you are trying to do subterfuge.
Well, I didn't know that either.
You did just meet the other day. So there's a lot that you guys don't know about one another.
I didn't expressly say I was a druid, but now you know for the future.
Now I know. Now I know for the future.
Safety in numbers, please.
Yeah. Well, I didn't actually think I was going to find anything. I just... If I'm totally honest, I wanted to catch a mouse. Okay?
And instead you caught some zombies.
And instead yeah. They were a little bit bigger, but I did manage to kill one, except it was a zombie, and it came back because...
It's a zombie.
It's a zombie.
So...
Yeah, that makes sense.
To kind of sharpen up what Shadowstripe saw, you saw the shadowy figure like raise its hand like it was pulling something out of the ground, but it pulled the spirits from those two figures.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it pulled the spirits from those two figures. Just in
like
case
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did the shadowy figure look like the one we saw yesterday?
I don't know if Shadowstripe got a good look at that one. I don't know if she got a good look at that guy.
I don't know
I think
if
the only person
I
that
don't
got a
think
good...
I did, yeah.
I think the only person that got a good look at him was Faputa.
I also would have probably assumed that it was the elven woman.
Good assumption.
That would have been the assumption that I would have made.
That would make sense. What did she look like?
What did she look like?
So, from what you were able to tell, she had very sharp, angular features. She had almost strawberry blonde hair, but her hair was tied in a very tight bun. Very utilitarian clothing, in very like drab grays and greens. Her cloak itself is a brown cloak, very similar to the ones that everyone else in town tends to wear, just very commonly made. She doesn't really have any like noteworthy features. However, Shadowstripe, since you were trying to kind of like pinpoint her, other than her strawberry blonde hair and her angled features, her skin's very sun-kissed, so it's almost like an olive tan, and her eyes are a very vibrant green. Like almost emerald green. And you only caught that when she kind of cast a glance over at the mention of Calrel earlier in the night.
Yeah, I relay that.
So you relay all that information, and I assume that you guys try to get a hold of like the constable or someone else in the guard to inform them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bart would have.
Yeah.
Bart would have got up and immediately sensed the urgency in Shadowstripe's voice and how worried she was, and look at the blood and whatnot, and he would instantly like want to go and do what she said and report this to the guards.
Yeah, I am puffed up. I am like fur is just. I look twice as big as I normally do. I am clearly, my tail is just like, like it's just, I'm clearly terrified.
So
Are you
I pick her up, gently pick her up, and like put her on the back of my shell, and just tell her that it's gonna be all right.
okay, Maukin, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
Are you fully healed, or would you like some more healing?
I'm good. I only need 3 more hit points to be full.
Okay, I'm going back to bed in that case.
So
do you tell me you did kind of yell about a black skull? Is that gone?
Oh, I don't see. Yeah, sorry. It is very concerning when one's fence only has some kind of weird skull over them.
Yeah, the skull is gone though. The skull is gone.
Yes, when I healed you, it looked like it sort of blinked out. I don't see it.
So you alert the constable, and the constable himself, he and the other 8 guards in the barracks, obviously they're put on high alert. Constable Rond, he kind of like spits on the ground, and he gives his beard a few tugs. He's a tall human man, probably mid-40s. He has various scars kind of like all over his face, and he's like, well, you said that there were 2 of them, and it was our lads, right?
Yes, sir.
And he says, all right, Regs, get up. And the other 8 men, they get up, they don their stuff really quickly, and they rush out and they start checking. He says, you 2 men, you stay at the gate. We gotta go look for Todd and Vince. And they start going out on the road where you had lured the other figures away, Shadowstripe.
Mm-hmm.
And they go out with torches and whatnot. They're not going out unarmed. They're all on high alert. Mm-hmm. And it seems like the entire town is left on high alert at this point. Because nobody really mobilizes the regulars, the militia here, unless there's something going on. It's gotten to the point where the people in the inn are on edge. You see that candle lights and lanterns are being lit up near the Lord's mansion. You also see a few lights come on in the Lore Master's Tower, and it gets to the point where Constable Rond makes his way back, and he kind of adjusts his armor a little bit as he approaches both Bart and Shadowstripe. All right, no, tell me who you saw. What'd you see?
And I will
Shadowstripe decides, fuck it, this is important enough. I'll blow my cover.
And when she starts to talk, Bart will just stop talking.
And I'll explain everything that I saw from like the elven woman in the tavern, and like I don't think I'd mention the mirror, but I would mention that we had saved Dovin over at the dragon burial, and Valthrin came to help identify the magical items and bring up like Lord Calrell's name and how this shadowy figure before he disappeared made eye contact and said Lord Calrell will have what he wants before disappearing.
So you're saying though that you saw it sounds like you were describing Nerathi. She was she lives here in Winterhaven, but why would she be? And he kind of hums and strokes his beard again. He says, no, I'll have to look more into that. Yeah. Are you all right, both of you? Is anyone else hurt?
It was just me.
Well,
there was something that got put on me by that guy, but one of our companions managed to dispel it, they think.
Well, get some rest. I know me and the lads aren't going to be getting any rest tonight, but rest assured we're going to look into it. Just get some sleep. Try to, anyway.
Does he give off any weird vibes when I mention Calrell?
Insight check.
It's 9.
No, he doesn't. It to you, it's you've seen his type before. You know, he's a guard captain. He's kind of like a beat cop, where it's like, you know, you're giving him all this information and he's storing it away. So names that you mentioned, he's got a really good poker face. You mentioned names, and unless he surprisingly brings one up like Nerathi, who he assures you is the elven woman that you saw, or that you think you saw. He basically just tells you that, you know, there's not much that they can do. They've lost 2 of their own, so they're obviously going to look into that for the murderer. But beyond that, you know, he just tells you, it's like, you know, stay safe, keep an eye on one another. But beyond that, there's nothing we can do right now, but we are going to look into it.
Okay. Are you good, Shadowstripe?
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go mouse hunting at night for a while. But yeah, I think I'm pretty good.
Okay. You
Yeah, I'll head back to the inn.
Okay. You all head to the inn, and you nestle in for the night, and there's this sense of unease as you shift off to sleep there, Shadowstripe. There's a brief flash of a memory, and it doesn't even seem like it's a memory of your own, because whoever's eyes you're seeing it through stand much taller than you. You see a flash of a darkened area lit by large shards of purplish black crystal. You see a figure approach in ornate blood red and bone white robes. Sacrificial bowl in hand, filled with a red liquid that you can only assume is blood. And as the figure turns and faces this faceless congregation of kneeling figures, it holds its hands upward, almost in the same motion that you saw from the figures earlier in the street outside of town, and you feel this pull in your own chest as if something is trying to be wrenched free, and you realize that it is probably your own soul, and it startles you awake. You look around and see the safety of the room, the safety that is the firmness of Bart's back, the huddled form of Faputa in the bed, bundled up underneath dozens of blankets, if anything. The meditating form of Maukin, and the air is still. You don't hear crickets. You don't hear the creaking of the floorboards. And startlingly enough, you don't even hear your own heartbeat in your ears. And I think that's where we're going to end for the night.
Yes.
Dun dun dun. Amazing.
Wow. That's unfortunate.
Because I know that Maukin's got to go here soon, so I don't want to hold anybody up. I know it was a shorter session. I hope you guys enjoyed the shorter session, though. We got a lot of lore just kind of dumped on us. But if you need any more of that stuff, I can provide that to you in notes. I will go in and I'll edit the magical items so that way they fit. Just for reference again, Maukin has the poison amulet and Shadowstripe has the protection amulet, correct?
Yeah.
Yes,
The
I believe.
ring of protection is the same thing, so
Yeah.
that's fine.
Okay. As long as I don't
just
have to
a
edit
cute
it.
little bracelet.
And I'm carrying the short sword for now.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So real quick, we'll do Star and a Wish. We'll start with Maukin and we'll work our way. We'll do Maukin, Faputa, Shadowstripe, then Bart. So that way, we can get our friend going for the evening. I know, again, chat, I know it was a short session, but you know, we have time constraints sometimes. So Maukin, go ahead. Star and a Wish.
Let's see if we can all get murdered by zombies.
So who's your star go to? Also, if you're speaking, I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, my cat was distracting me. What did you say?
The star and a wish. If what do you think? Would you like about the session, and then what do you wish for next one?
I like the lore dump. That was fun and alluring in so many different ways.
It's true.
It's never a good thing when it's like, yeah, that guy was trying to be a lich and now he's a weird shadow person. I'm sure that's fine.
Yeah, what can go wrong? Someone seeks that kind of necromantic power. What can go wrong, right?
They usually turn into well-adjusted people. I hear it usually goes great. And for wish, let's see.
It is also all right if you don't have one. That's okay too.
No, you have to have one.
No, that's demanded now.
Yeah, there's nothing really I can think of. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Faputa, star and a wish.
I liked that segment. I mean, the lore dump was good, but I also liked the Shadowstripe moment quite a bit. It was fun to listen to that as I honk shooed. Like, don't get me wrong, that was an amazing lore dump. Then I got to talk to him about Faputa himself, so that was cool. But that's as far as the star goes. A wish, not anything crazy for now. I've been having a good time. I like the loot we've gotten so far, and yeah. Woohoo.
I am not concerned about Faputa.
Hee.
All right. Thank you.
Say on the matter. Tee.
Shadowstripe, star and a wish.
I did like the kind of info dump we got on Faputa in particular. I will have to rewatch the VOD later because I was the insurance claim that I'm dealing with kept calling me at the beginning, so I kept having to
That's understandable.
put everything down and deal with that. And then that dream is gonna fuck me up.
You're welcome.
That's a normal dream. That's a normal dream.
It's fine. It's not being able to hear my own heartbeat. Is
normal.
Who needs a heartbeat?
You're fine. You're fine.
Heartbeats are so overrated.
But I've genuinely enjoyed the kind of back and forth between like, oh, we're doing combat this game. Oh, we're getting a lore dump this game. Like I like the fact that it's not just like combat.
Yeah.
We're getting to role play and play off of each other and learn about each other, and yeah, I like that. So yeah, just continue as is.
Sweet.
No complaints.
And last but not least, Bart.
I thought that the whole again the lore dump set part with Faputa and just learning about that whole portion was really, really cool. Just another layer of the creature that is Faputa. I like it.
Faputa is a creature. Faputa is a creature.
That's a good word to describe Faputa, I think.
I am Faputa.
And the wish is just to keep going the way we're going because it's good. I like
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. As far as we know, are there any constraints or anything next week on the 8th?
I'm good.
Negative.
Believe I'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah, should be good.
All right. Maukin, you good? You good for next week also?
I should be, yeah.
All right, fantastic. If anything changes again, let me know. And I will do my best to accommodate everything that we do here. So, I'm not gonna hold my players up any longer. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mute the Discord so that way, if they have to take off, if you guys need anything from me though, feel free to message me. Again, open door policy. Talk to me. I'll work stuff out. I did read what you guys had sent me. So Shadowstripe, I actually want to go with B. I want to go with B from what you sent me. If that hints to anything.
I like it.
So
I like it.
so just letting you know that's what I want to go with.
I
so-
wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what way to go with the combat because I didn't know your answer.
No, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So
Okay.
Alarming.
And then the dream on top of that, I was like, shit, this could go either way.
That's kind of what tied it in. So I'm glad that works. So anyways, so I want to thank my players. I want to thank my players for participating tonight. Again, no, it was a shorter session, but sometimes we just make accommodations and we roll with it. So sometimes it's really good to have an RP session. I think it's good to have an RP session. So we'll be back next week, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, barring any other issues. So guys, I'm going to mute Discord. Feel free to enjoy the rest of your evening. And I will talk to you guys soon.
Chat.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Wonderful session tonight. I really enjoyed myself. Chat, hopefully you guys enjoyed yourselves. So I'll touch on that now, Ryuji. So since you asked, Star and Wish is you grant a star, and it's kind of a way to kind of highlight things in the role play. So you have a star that you can award to other players or to an aspect of the game that you really like that night, and then a wish is like things that you want to see from later. So that's what the star and a wish is. But guys, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna see if we can find somebody to raid. I know it's a little let's see who's streaming right now. What is Throne and Liberty? Everyone's playing Throne and Liberty. I keep seeing this. Not that I dislike it, but you know what? I think we're gonna drop it on Survivalist Gaming. I haven't dropped in on him in a minute, so we're gonna drop it on them. So friends, thank you so much for sticking around. We're gonna go with a good old-fashioned Viking raid. I want to thank everybody for the resubs and the hype train and the anonymous gifter who gave out 10 subs. Thank you so much. Thank you, Karen, for the raid. I appreciate all you guys. DeMarco, hello. Everybody, you're all fantastic. You're all wonderful. And like I said, I might be back tomorrow. We'll see. It just depends on chat and not chat on real world stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, we're gonna go on and bother Survivalist Gaming. So again, good old-fashioned Viking raid. Please be polite, read the room, and please be polite to the streamer we're about to drop in on. They might be in the middle of something and may not be able to respond to us right away. I'm sure they'll give to us if they can when they can. If you like the streamer's content, please give them a follow. If you really like their content, give them a subscribe. You're not required to do either. Do remember, a follow is free. All right, guys. Take care, have fun, and as always, stay safe, eat well, stay hydrated, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Bye.